I didn't want a C-section. This was my first baby, so I wanted to experience a natural birth, and I didn't know like how tough recovery for a C-section was. There was like, I don't know, like 10 nurses. I don't know, it felt like so many hands on me, and they were just like preparing me. They were taking off my earrings, my jewelry, like checking my feet, like I don't know, just doing a whole bunch of stuff. And then like it was like a glam squad, but not a glam squad, because they were like preparing me for surgery, you know. I start getting prepared for surgery, and they roll me into the OR. My nurse is there, introduced me to the anesthesiologist, which was not the anesthesiologist that had put the epidural. It was really nice. And then she introduced me to the whole team that was going to be there in the OR. And the anesthesiologist is pumping me with anesthesia. My doctor comes in. Oh, at some point my boyfriend comes in too. I don't know, he says that by the time he came in, I honestly do not remember. I was so drugged up that I don't even remember what time he came in. But he says when they brought him in, I was already cut open. I do not know, honestly. But my doctor, obviously, like, they have to check if you're numb down there. So she like stabs, I'm gonna say stabs me. She like pokes me with, I'm gonna say the scalpel. I don't know. I honestly don't know because I'm covered, so I can't see anything. But she pokes me, and she's like, "Can you feel this?" And I was like, "Yes, I can." And I was like, "Oh, like what the heck?" Like and it was like, I think honestly she was already cutting me, to be honest. I'm not sure, because I felt it. Like it was like a slice all from my left side to my right side. And I was like, "Yeah, I feel that." And she's like, "Okay." So then the anesthesiologist pumps more. I don't know how much they're pumping me with or whatever, but she pumps more into me. And then she like pokes me again, and she's like, "Can you feel this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." I'm thinking to myself, is it the nerves that I'm thinking I feel this? And I'm like, "No, I can feel this. Like I feel it, and it's painful." The anesthesiologist pumps me with like half more. And then so the doctor's like, "Can you feel this?" And then like I felt a little bit on my left side, and then she went to my right side, and I didn't feel anything. I was like, I feel a little bit on my left side. And so then she pumps me with a little bit more, and then I was like, okay, I don't feel anything at all. Like I don't feel anything anymore. My arms are out like this on the table, right? And I'm just like shaking, like shaking. And it wasn't because I was cold. It was just uncontrollable shaking. And it was like the anesthesiologist was like, "Oh, it's normal with the medication. You have epidural, you have anesthesia. It's perfectly normal." And I was like, what the heck? Like I was shaking and I couldn't stop shaking, and it was like my teeth were chattering. I asked her, I was like, "Do you have like a mouth guard or something that you can give me?" Like they were chattering so much, like I thought I was gonna break my teeth. And I would take deep breaths and like try to relax, but I just could not stop shaking. So then she like gave me gauze, and then like, but my teeth were still chattering. It was uncontrollable shaking, and I kept trying to relax. And then like it was honestly like such a terrible experience. Like 0 out of 10 recommend. They start like pushing my rib cage. They're like, "Oh, you're gonna feel a little bit of pressure." I could not breathe. Like they were like, I don't know what they were doing, like trying to get him out. I don't know. The anesthesiologist, she took my boyfriend's phone, and like she flipped the camera so I can see, and I could see everything, like them, like, well, not everything, like them cutting, like them pulling out my baby. And then like they bring my baby like over the drape, and they're like, "There's your baby." And I was like, I teared up, but like I was so drugged up, like I was just like, okay. And I was just so tired. And then like, I don't know, they took my boyfriend to do whatever. They weighed the baby, they cleaned him up. They were still like sewing me up. It was, I'm still like, when I talk about it, I will get emotional. I didn't get to hold my baby right away. Like they took him away like after, like my boyfriend was with him, but like I didn't get to have that like first bond with him, you know. When he came out, like I was so drugged up, I was so out of it that I couldn't even, like, I don't even remember seeing him. to be honest. I don't remember like how he looked when he came out. Like I see pictures now and like, but I don't remember at that moment. I don't remember anything. And I was still in there like getting sewn up, and like my boyfriend was the one that was with my baby. Instead of him being there on my chest and like having our first bonding moment. But finally when I went into the recovery room, I was able to like have my baby, and like the nurse in there, she like right away put him on, and he like right away latched onto my breast, and I was able to breastfeed him. But it just wasn't what I expected. It was very traumatic for me. Like nothing went as planned, nothing. And if I sit here and I dwell on it, I will get into my head about it, and it will affect my whole mood. Like I'll think about it like one day. I try not to dwell on it, because it already happened. It already happened, and there's nothing we can do about it. But I don't know if the reason why it affects me so much is because it's my first baby, and I wanted to have a natural birth, and like now that I had a cesarean, it could affect my chances of having a natural birth, like for my future children, if I plan on having more children. Like I know nowadays you can have a VBAC, a vaginal birth after cesarean, but like I've heard of women like having trouble like finding a doctor who wants to do a VBAC because of X, Y, and Z reasons, you know. Oh, and then let me tell you, recovery was awful. I hear about all these women that like after birth they were like, okay, give me all the food, you know. I couldn't eat. I could not eat. They did not let me eat. They brought in my tray of food, but they were like, well, it's lunchtime. Oh, I had him like around 9:40 something. I honestly don't even remember what time it was. They said time of birth, and I don't even remember, but it was 9 something. And so like by the time I went into like my room, it was already like lunchtime. So they brought me the food, but they were like, well, you cannot eat it. And so my mom and my boyfriend like shared the food. I like did eat some watermelon, but it was tough. It was tough, and recovery was even tougher. Like that's a whole nother story within itself. But I'm very thankful to all the nurses. They were all very kind, and even the doctor that birthed my baby, she was very nice. I really hope if I do plan to have kids in the future that I could try for a VBAC and I can try to have a natural birth. And there are people that tell me, well, you know, it's okay because at least he's here and he's safe. And I'm just like, yeah, but what if? But I do not like when people tell me like, you know, he's here and he's safe even though you had a C-section. I'm just like, yeah, but it was freaking traumatic, and like my mental health was kind of bad, but my baby's here, and this was now 5 months ago. He's already 5 months. You guys want to see him? He's been looking a little crazy because he just woke up from a nap. But this is Elliot. Elliot, say hi, baby. Say hi. Say hi, my baby fox. This is Mr. Elliot. Say hi. Say hi, baby. Here now, and he's 5 months. I know I'm telling this birth story late, but it's like I'm okay to talk about it now. I still do get teary-eyed, and I don't know for how long I will get teary-eyed, but it's pretty emotional for me and traumatic for me, and that's all that matters. If you don't think it was traumatic, if you think like, oh, whatever, other people have it worse. Yes, other women have it worse, but that doesn't mean that my experience is any less valid than other women's experiences. If you have a mom, go thank her for whatever she did, because even vaginal birth can be traumatic and it's a crazy experience. And if you're a husband, if you're a father, go thank your wife, go thank your girlfriend, go thank your baby mama for everything she went through for having your children, because it is crazy. And women that have more than one baby, that's crazy too, because I don't know if I'm gonna have any more babies, because I don't know if I want to go through that again. You would want to go through that again? No, we don't. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe, and comment down if you are a mom and let me know your birth story. Say bye. As I am editing the video, I forgot to mention that my original nurse was actually my nurse again, and she told me that the doctor actually had mentioned to her the reason they suspect that my baby's heart rate kept dropping was because when they did the C-section and they took my placenta out, they saw that my placenta was actually old, so it was like failing, or it was getting old. It was dying. My placenta was dying, and so that caused like a lack of oxygen plus my contractions, so my baby was going into distress and it was just too much for him too fast, and that's what they found out when I had the C-section.